To welcome each and every one of you to ProMotion Studios right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. We are the Kincaid Band, and we're glad to be here with you. coming home to stay. A little Kincaid music for you.
Well, I really want you to stay, girl. Well, I really want you to stay, girl. Stay, girl, with me. I'm getting lovely, girl. Oh, my little sweet 16. Just crush some puppy love. You are my everything. I see you standing there. The wind is blowing through your hair. I'm a kitten right by my side. I need you always there. Well, I really want you to stay, girl. I really need you. Well, I really want you to stay, girl. Stay, girl, with me. I'm a little lovely light. Oh, you are my everything. Say that you'll stay with me. And when I'm not real, girl, I've been in love with you since I was 12 years old. Just wanted to make you mine, to have a baby and to hold. Well, I really want you to stay, girl. I really need you. Well, I really want you to stay, girl. I really want you. Well, I really want you to stay, girl. Stay, girl. Stay, girl. Stay, girl. Stay, girl, with me. All right.
Take this time to thank everybody for coming out with us tonight. Kincaid Band live at ProMotion Studios in Knoxville, Tennessee.
All right, we're joined here in the ProMotion Studios by the Kincaid Band. You guys want to introduce yourselves to the people?
Bill Kincaid.
Scott Houston.
Cat Bray.
Tron Luttrell.
Dave Nutzel.
And how long has the Kincaid Band been active on the Knoxville scene? I feel like I've seen you guys for a long time.
Your grandparents may have seen us.
Don't know the exact day, but the first job we played was March of 1980.
Wow.
I was there too.
Dave was part of that too. I actually
Yeah.
started off with Dave and I were in a band called The News right before Huey Lewis came out, and then he and I and two other guys in the band, and Dave and I were killing ourselves singing. And Tron over here was coming off the road and said, "Hey guys, you need to sing." And we're going like, "Yeah."
All right.
So then Tron and I stayed together, and Dave took off to other places and had kids and got married and stuff. But Tron and I been
Speaking
doing
of the news, should we tell? We got time to tell that story?
no,
Okay.
no.
So you'll have to hit up the Kincaid Band, get the full story
Yes.
on the news. So you guys have obviously been very prolific on the local scene for a while. And you've got a lot of original music. You play covers as well. What kind of brought you all together? Was it a similar taste or just passion for music?
Probably necessity. I
Necessity?
take that back now. We always looked up Tron. I did. I mean, the age difference here, Tron played at my junior high dance. So that's how far it goes back. But Dave and I we're in a band with another female vocalist, and I think it broke up. And Dave and I decided we had similar taste in music.
Kept
you know,
going.
and we kept going. And
We
then,
had played together since 1975.
yes,
And
both in high
so-
school. And we used to go see Tron play when you could get in bars when you were 18.
Well, it's also the things like as far as personnel and everything like that. The average band would stay together 2 years, 2.5 years. Then you'd have to replace somebody. And
Yeah.
You'd find them, and then you'd get all that squared away. Then you'd go another 2.5 years or so. This particular group, as now, I'm looking at what, 5 years?
No. Well,
Yeah,
you,
Cat
Dave,
Scott-
and I 10.
Well, with Scott,
And we had
was it?
Scott
Yeah.
with 5. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Cat just got with us.
You know, now we've talked about this before. Being in East Tennessee, you probably have to do a variety of music. You know, we'll
Yes.
do a Metallica song and turn around and do an Elvis song. Now with Cat in the band, we can do Janis Joplin and turn around and do James Brown. So, so we can do most genres, and I think just the love of good music probably kept this group together right now. So.
And so you guys, you do have a diverse range of covers and things that you can do. Is that kind of out of necessity for where you play, or is that just really to cater to your tastes?
It's so much different now than it was back in the day, because a lot of the places you play, you've got from very small children up to not too many people as old as me, but I mean, but anyway.
Yeah.
But you got to span everything. in
Yeah,
between.
you've got you'll have a couple walk in and ask for These Arms of Mine for an anniversary dance, and then some younger people walk in and they look at the band and say, "Well, is that what they play?" So then you go into Crazy Train that freaks them out. So,
And you've obviously played a variety of different types of
Yes.
shows, private events and corporate events, anything like that. What's your favorite type of show to play?
Probably concerts. I mean, we've
Just
done
a straight up concert.
Oh yeah, we
Straight up concert,
just recently we did with Pat Travers, and we like doing that. You know, playing music is fine, and I don't be all the talking. Y'all can jump in if you want to, but you know, doing concerts is what we do. You know, that way we can shine, we can do whatever. We just go out and play. David, I don't have to worry about sound, and Cat don't have to worry about monitors, and Scott don't have to worry about his kick drum. Somebody else worries about that.
Yeah.
We just go in and play.
Yeah.
So if we're doing a concert, we do our own music. To me, that's my preference. I'm not sure about everybody else, but I don't want to speak for everybody else. But that's just my preference.
No, I would have to go with the concert
Yeah.
setting. I would have to do that. Just the vibe that you get from the crowd. You're getting out there playing your originals from certain genres that sound like something that, you know, with these guys, what's really cool is that their original music fits with what you grew up with.
Yeah.
From back in the day. It really does. You can hear, like, one of the songs that we'll do tonight reminds you of something that you may have heard on the radio from the 80s or something.
Yeah.
It'll bring
No,
you
you
back to the
absolutely have a
80s.
really diverse style in
Yeah.
your original music as
Yeah.
well. So the concerts allow you to kind of exercise that more creative freedom, and the other gigs allow you to pay the bills and feed yourself.
well, and it's also, I mean, I've had certain
Those are
points
day
of
jobs.
things when I was on the road as far as my career where we're fortunate enough to hook up with some name bands and concert. And then, you know, after a while, you kind of want to come back to that club thing, you know, just to kind of get back that closeness.
Much
you know,
more
with somebody.
intimate, yeah.
Yeah. And so if you can, you know, deviate a little bit. But, I mean, I'm just happy either way, whether what I'm doing, just as long as I can get up and sing. Most people have a passion for something. When they get in their 20s or stuff, they get married or whatever happens, they have to give that up. I've been fortunate enough to not have to do that. And
Yeah.
there's not a day goes by. I'm not
That's a
thankful.
true blessing there.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So when you guys, with the original compositions, where does the music come from? Do you guys all get together? Does somebody bring parts to the band? How does that work?
I try and I have done things over the years. I'll come in with a riff or something. He'll have some words for it immediately, and that's basically how we've done. Now, Dave has been in the bands. I want to bring some of Dave's old stuff back in. I don't know if it's prevalent now, but he was in the original band back in the day. And Scott's got his own style. And I'm not sure about Cat. I don't want to speak for Cat. You got anything on tape somewhere we need to bring out, Cat? Original?
We'll just have to come up with something.
Works for me.
But
We'll give it a
basically,
beat and get it to dance
Yeah,
to
give
it.
it a beat.
Give it a
Tron
beat.
and I have worked together originals. And we still got a bunch of stuff we don't have recorded, but I want to get us in the studio. But with today's technology, Dave and I could probably do something in my basement at my wife's,
Yeah, that's
wife's
true.
house. But and you know, basically, I'll come in a riff try and goes, oh wait, I got something, you know. So
Yeah, and when you something like that happens, it just flows. Like we would rehearse, and he'd, like I say, with a riff, and it would put me in a mind frame of what the song should be about. He had this little thing. It was just a kind of a gangster riff. I don't mean gangster music, but I mean just kind of something you think Bonnie and
got
Clyde
swagger.
type of thing like
Yeah.
that. And so we did a song called Bad Boy Billy
Yeah.
about this guy had nationwide fame because he had #1 poster face, worldwide fame. He's dated Duchess, he dated the Dame, and of course he ended up taking his last ride in a hearse Cadillac and all that, like Bonnie and
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Babyface Nelson or John Dillinger.
So when you're writing lyrics, are you the kind of lyricist that has like books of lyrics and you'll hear something to know something to go with it, or do you write like kind of off the cuff?
No, I've never really written any lyrics first. Sometimes I'll go a month or two without picking up the guitar, and then something just kind of crosses my mind. Something will happen. You'll hear something, see something, and you pick up the guitar, and you start writing, and you turn on your tape and just let it flow, and do that until you get to a point to where you feel like you're having to force stuff to fit. Stop,
Yeah.
and then if you've got 20 minutes worth of stuff, come back a month or two later when you've forgotten what's on there. Listen to it. Then if something jumps out and grabs you like that, you've got something. It's like driving down the road on the radio and all of a sudden a new song comes out. Oh my gosh, man, that's great. Same way with your...
And yeah, that's really brilliant too. Give it some space, some time to breathe, and come back to it and see. I mean, maybe you separate the.
Yeah, and
wheat
if it
from the
comes out
chaff,
just like
so-
bam, gets you like that,
Yeah.
you've got something.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
there's times where you write an original for a guy like me, play drums. I don't play guitar. I don't play keyboards. I don't play anything. Luckily I can walk and chew gum at the same time, not trip. But then I bring lyrics like that to Bill and say, this is what I've got, and can you do something with it?
Yeah.
And then that's up to, he'll listen to it and just put something to it. And I'm like, okay, we're good to go,
And one of the original dude tonight was Scott. Somebody else wrote the music, but he brought it to us, and we've made it our song now. I
Yeah.
mean, we've changed it around a little bit, and we probably gave it a little edge to it.
A
You
lot.
hear the original version; it's kind of middle of road rock, maybe a little bit. We come in and added our edge to it, Dave and I and him. So,
Yeah.
and we've made the Kincaid song, but
right.
originally, but and it's like anybody, what Van Halen did with "You Really Got Me."
Yeah.
Everybody, the Beatles did, Twist and Shout. Everybody puts their own.
You
little
can put
edge.
your own thing. You can
Yes.
take something maybe a little tame, make it a
Right.
little wilder.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and also on a situation like that, if you're going to do any deviation to something, especially a well-known song that people are familiar with, then whatever that deviation is or that feeling you want to, it better be as good, if not better.
That's
when
really
someone walks
hard.
up to you and says,
Yeah.
"Man, that Bad Company tune was great," said, "You sounded like Paul Rodgers, but you all did it your way," and it was. Then you've got it right.
To do a note for note cover is hard because then you're just going to be compared to whoever you're
Too
covering.
mechanical.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And if you make it your own, then it's more about your artistic license that you've taken, your creative freedom that
Right.
you took with that song.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
Exactly,
the thing
yes.
with us with just the three instruments. We do a lot of songs that have a whole lot more production on them than that.
Yeah.
But we learn how to make them work. They
And that speaks to the talent as well. Not every band could have three instruments and bring the level of quality.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it has to do with experience too. You guys are prolific. You've worked around here for a long
That
time.
is there too.
Yeah. And so it takes some learning. Not every band
gosh.
can get out there and do that. But you guys have also worked with each other for long enough that you know how to make that shorthand
Yeah.
when it's necessary. So
And on top of that, now we're doing some other things that we added Kat to the band. Tron was under the weather for a while, and Kat filled in with us, and we go, man, she's good with the band, and we all talked about it. And we said, let's add Kat to the band. I mean, we might make a little less money on the cover jobs, but she sings good, Tron sings good, everybody in the band
At
can
this
sing
level,
lead.
I agree.
Yeah.
That it's not so much about the money as this. I want to be able to walk on stage with the band, and everybody feels this way, I'm sure, individually and as a group. It ain't about the money. It's walking on stage and knowing you've got a combination and you're going to kick.
yeah.
People are going like
Melt their
you know,
faces
that.
off.
So that is, it's not about the
Well,
money. That's
that's
why we all have day jobs.
That's the best motivation when you're going to be in music, and it can be a career, but that is a grueling career.
Yeah.
It's hard to have even a life. If you're pursuing music, it takes precedent over everything. When you're trying to have a family or other hobbies.
Yeah, some of
and
my
other
best
career
friends on the
passions.
road that I used to keep in touch with and everything. I played in a band with some of them, and they ended up forming Skinner, Blackfoot, and Molly Hatchet out of this band when I was in college. And so I kept in touch with them. We would hang out together, sometimes be in the same town. And I mean, I've had talks with Leon Wilkerson, bass player for Skinner, and you know, you got money, you got it's a royal lifestyle, but there's also the basic thing is you look how things are on a club level, and it's the same way big time, except all the good's magnified as is
The bad.
The bad.
Yeah.
You got that additional pressure and everything. So it's you're totally right. It's on that level. It is grueling.
It takes a toll, and that's why I think being, more of a, it's not even a hobby, but a passion band. You know, you've got your career, you've got your life on the side, and you can go out, you can do these shows with your group of people, and you're professional because you've been doing it for so long, and people are going to respond to that. Anytime they see a band that's got it together, there's dime a dozen bands in any town.
People
they
can
do
tell,
covers.
yeah.
They
People can tell
the
whether you're
level of
mechanical or
professionalism.
whether
Yeah.
you're feeling what's coming
and
out.
you know, we can't tell you how many people come up to us and goes, "Why are you guys here? You know, like, why aren't you in Vegas or Chicago, Memphis, Atlanta? You know, Dave and I are married and have families here, and Tron's based out here. Scott's got family in Cat. It's been, I don't know how long you've been in this area, Cat.
But that's got to be a great compliment.
Well, I'll make this real quick. This is one of the last jobs I played before I was down for a little bit. This lady walked up to me, a little melancholy, and she said, "Excuse me." I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "I just want to thank you." She said, "Your voice, your movement, the band is just, y'all are just so good." And she said, "I thank you." And I said, "Well, thank you very much." She said, "I've had a bad week. I lost my sister and I lost my best friend. And I've been in the house for, a couple of weeks." And her friends talked her into coming out that Tennessee Tap. And she said, "I want to thank you for taking all of this, and your band for taking all this off my mind for a couple of hours." Now, that's what it's about. It's
That
not
is.
it's
Yeah.
the money.
It is
You,
what it's
you
about.
help
Yeah, I
someone.
agree with that.
Really
And I'll give you another story.
Yes.
We played New Year's Eve at the Hard Rock Cafe, and our friends Mel and everybody were up there, Pat and everybody. I don't know what song we did, but I looked out in the audience and saw Melanie looking at us, and she looked at me the same time I looked at her, and she got this big old grin on her face. And that's when I realized we're doing something good. Everybody was cooking that night, and that's when the band and the music affects your audience.
Yeah.
And I could just look at her and tell that she was like, we just struck a chord with her. So, and I think everybody agrees that sometimes, just one person smiles at you or one person comes and says, "Man, you guys are awesome." That means a lot. We may not be on the big stages, but one person connecting with the band
Absolutely.
means a whole lot.
You're
absolutely
able to
does.
look out there and you see these people. You may not talk to them in the course of the night, but you can tell body language, facial expressions, and stuff that you're doing right, and you're giving, but at the same time, you're giving to them, but you're
giving back.
receiving.
Yeah. And it's easy to take for granted, when you get up on a stage, what other people might be going through, what they might be trying to escape
Yeah.
when you're there. So having that presence of mind to know that we're here to give you a show, and we hope that you enjoy it. We hope that it makes your day better, improves your week.
And one
like
thing
that.
about it is we don't use a sit list.
No.
Because you could have the same 100 people that came to hear you on Friday,
Yeah.
and you go bam, 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 and it nuts. Everybody goes crazy. And then those same people could come in the next night, and like what you said, they've had a harder day and this and that, and it may not work. That combination may not work. So you've got to feel the crowd and
So you guys really
cater
just kind
to
of
them.
try to feel the crowd out,
Yeah.
like with your set. So you'll just kind of be talking in between. But you guys do a lot of like transitions between your songs. So you kind of, you're working like kind of. There's
Yeah.
a lot of shorthand, eye
You
communication.
got that's
Reading
exactly
eyes.
right. Exactly right.
they're
On
mad
a lot
out
of
in the
it
crowd.
too, Bill will just start off the riff of the next song.
Yeah.
And since we've
Just
added
cues, yeah. There's just little cues.
Since we had a Cat and Tron now, I'm trying to go. We'll start Tron. What are you feeling the first 4 songs? Cat, what are you feeling your first 4 songs? And after that, I call it a free for all. Like,
Yes.
I'll go, well, okay. Now next, Cat, I'll go up to Cat and go, we're gonna do blah blah blah. And I'll go, Tron, what are you gonna do? Then after that,
And he'll let me know,
And I'll let
then
you
I'll
know.
end one song and I'll just go right in, no count, no nothing. I'll
so
just bop
Sometimes
right into
they
it.
tell me,
Every now and I'll let them know.
Every now and then they'll let you
Yeah.
in on the secret.
one of my favorite cues now is to whistle.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah.
cue. I'll start whistling because Dave wears in earbuds, so sometimes
Yep.
I'll kind of get his attention.
You
So
got
I'll
you got a good whistle. Let's hear it.
Yes.
Let's hear it. All right, that's good. Yeah, that's a good whistle right there.
it works.
What about the infamous Bivol Kincaid?
No,
Not
we're
gonna
not
do
doing
Okay.
that. No.
No. Moving along.
What is that? I mean, it's not. It's clean.
I'd like to do lots of sound effects as my wife who's sitting on the side will attest. I'm always harassing our dog. And when we had a cat, our cat ran off. I used to do bird whistles and stuff in the house. So.
Okay. All right. So what's the Kincaid Band got in store for 2019? Obviously, lots more shows. Any new music? What's going on?
Wow. Well, we've talked and really would like to get some more regional music out there to the public because right now, the stuff that we have, Tron I did years ago, Scott did years ago, and it's all over, we've got on Spotify, Louder.fm, iTunes, all the delivery systems, and we have a radio station on Pandora, so I want to add to that. Plus now we have another vocalist with Kat. I want to add something with her, even if we just, we just write a song for her, or try and write a song for her. Tron and I have all kinds of music. Tron has more music. I'm sure Scott does, and the problem is trying to get that to the public.
Okay.
In the process of that, we got to keep playing and working. But,
We've been very fortunate, like what Bill says, as far as we've got stuff that we've written forever ago. It's a continually rotating thing, and like what we were speaking about, with something reaches out and grabs you. We have 3 or 4 songs off of the first Rock Wars album where we won this Battle of the Bands. Now
tell them how long ago
this
that
is
was.
in September of 1980, and we still have people, and some of these young people come up, do y'all still do that? Buy the tracks, and I'm looking at this. The album's older than that. Well, my mother and father and my grandfather, and I heard that song on that big album they had, and oh my gosh! So I mean,
That's awesome.
I mean, right there, you can't put a monetary value on that.
Any thoughts of revisiting some of those older tracks and re-recording them?
We've talked about it.
We've
Bringing them back and revamp. Yeah, we've talked about doing it.
Cool.
Refurbishing them or whatever.
Tron and I, we've been live. We did a video years ago for when MTV had local bands, and you send videos in, and we did a video with wrestler Kevin Sullivan. And the girl, his assistant was Angel then. She's no longer with us, and I don't know what she's called now, but we did that a long time ago. So, and that's a song. Those 2 songs, I don't think we've even approached anymore.
Yeah, and I took it. In fact, the girl that it was written about, I went to visit her sister and her husband, and took that down. They had never seen it. Now it's very 80ish.
Oh,
I
yeah.
That is
I got a Jerry
are you
curl.
kidding me?
I can see this.
But the
I was in
response we get
kindergarten.
get off the song is so many people have experienced what that song is about. Whether, of course, I sing it from a male to a female thing, because they've experienced that. They can relate to it, and they can tell when you write a song about something, relationships or whatever. People smart enough, they can tell whether you've actually felt that or whether you're just trying.
Oh yeah. People can tell the sincerity.
Yeah.
And that's the word. Thank you. I've learned something tonight. Yeah. Cool.
So,
and another thing, I want to toot the band's horn. Scott is probably our promotional guy, and he's always promoting the band. He came up with a while back about calling us legendary, and legendary means old or whatever. But the process of that,
heroic.
we have amassed
Iconic.
a lot of bands coming out now will go, we do this genre, we do that genre. We've been doing that genre since
You've been doing those genres since they were
before they were a genre.
There you go.
That's right.
It was a genre.
Genre.
That's
So
right.
it's got,
Which is literally true.
it is true, yeah. Because Dave and I are doing songs probably now that we were doing when we were teenagers. And same with Tron. Tron was singing Elvis and James Brown when he was a teenager.
Eddie Cochran, Summertime Blues.
So now
Richie Valens, Buddy
Yeah.
Holly.
Now when I promote the band, all these other bands say this and that, and that's fine. And Danny, go for it. Godspeed and all, do your rocking thing. But for over 40 plus years, Kincaid's been doing it already. So I like to put that out there as respect to everybody in the band and everything.
We've
And
done it all. We do it better.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean, the best of the best, and we give you what we get, what we do on stage every night, 100% and more.
And we're going to give you a professional show. We're not going to come
Every time.
in and scream from the stage, we're the best. We're
Respectful to the venue and the patrons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then make
We
it
want
about
you to
half.
feel
Some
what
bands
we
like make it
feel.
halfway
Yeah.
through the
There you
night,
go.
then stumble off the stage.
Yeah.
And now with Cat, for some reason with Cat now, when we play places with kids, they just gyrate to Cat.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
Yeah.
Cat has certain things that they want, like the little flashing lights.
And
Cats
the
are
hat.
like
They look at the hat.
They look
they're
at the
like-
hat.
They look at the hat, the jacket,
Cat
the
in the
scarf.
hat,
They're
right
like,
there.
you look like a Fable character. You
Aw.
look like a-
Well, I
yeah.
like to throw little neon bracelets at them and
Oh,
stuff,
yeah, they love that, too.
because it's fun.
And
And
crowd engagement, particularly when you're playing for a wide variety of people, a diverse audience, crowd engagement becomes even more.
Yeah, the little kids, the parents will bring them up there, and they're looking at you like this, and then you get them up, play tambourine, and their parents are out there with a cell phone, and they'll never ever forget that.
No.
And
Nope.
that bridges that
Yeah.
you and the crowd become one and the same.
And we
Yeah.
think the innocence of kids, we can't tell you how many times you see the little kids just come up and go, just look at you like,
Rapt attention.
Rock
yeah,
stars,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
They're just looking and they're just mesmerized. You know, I
Yeah.
can't tell how many times Cat's giving out stuff, I'm giving out guitar picks, Scott's giving out drumsticks, you know, it's just,
No.
and that's where it's the innocence of kids with music. They haven't been jaded yet or anything, they just see, they
You
hear.
never know the next generation of musicians you may be
Yeah.
up
Yes,
Because they don't know
exactly.
they don't know whether
Create
we're
little rock
famous or
stars.
not, but to them we are. And when you meet someone that you look up to, you're going to remember it whether the experience is good or bad. It's just like if you meet
True.
some. When I ran into Robert Plant in Tombstone, I mean that's one of him and Glenn Hughes, and then to meet him and have them actually be what you hoped that they would be.
Sometimes they
The
aren't.
nicest
Right.
individual, one of the that I have ever met. We
That's
hung out for
fortunate.
about 2.5 hours and just had a great time.
That's awesome.
So, Kincaid Band, where can people get in touch with you? Where can people follow you, find the music, all that?
Well, we need a webpage. We had webpages kind of down. That's my priority.
Was
That's
it,
one
was
thing.
it an old 90s webpage?
No,
No.
We
It's
had a current
Facebook.
one. I don't know what happened.
MySpace.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. We had one. We got to get
Legal
one
fire.
back up.
Exactly.
I talked to a guy this weekend. He goes, I want to book you guys for something. I said, sure. He goes, I can get in touch with you. I saw you on Facebook. He goes, no. So there's still a lot of people out there don't go
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
social media.
Absolutely.
They just want a website,
Anti-Facebook.
and that's one thing you asked us earlier about what we want for 2019. I want a good web page for the band because oh okay, I got you. We'll talk. We're gonna talk. I'm serious, but Facebook mostly. Everybody has their own individual pages, and I put on Facebook if you can't find us individually, go to Kincaid Band page and it'll send a message. I've got it automatically sending a message to me or Scott.
Okay.
But we're all over Facebook, you
Yes,
know,
that's right.
and that's
You give me some
probably
of that rock
not a
stars.
good enough area to get in touch with us about booking.
But you can Google the Kincaid
Yeah.
Band,
Oh, yeah.
K-I-N-C-A-I.
Dude,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Oh, man.
I've
We
seen
see
you guys
it-
online.
yeah, we
I've
see it
seen you
spelled-
before plenty of times. So.
At least a half a dozen different ways we've
Oh,
gone
yes.
to places.
Yeah.
And some places that we played for years and years and years, and
Yes.
it may be one way.
K-Y-N-C-W-A-I-D.
Yeah, right.
Ron usually will wear a shirt with the name on it, and they still, how do you spell that? Anyway.
Wow.
People ask you your name and you got a name badge right there.
There you go.
All right. Well, follow the Kincaid Band. Look them up. I'm sure you can Google. When are you guys going to be playing again next?
This coming weekend on Saturday night, we're actually going to be performing at the Roaming Gnome in Sevierville, and we do have a Facebook page where we do update everybody, let them know where we're playing, show times, venues, everything like that. So you can find us on Facebook on the Kincaid Band page.
And we will
right
tell
now,
you
right now.
for the remaining of the year, the first Saturday of every month, we're at the Hard Rock Cafe in Pigeon Forge. The
Yay,
third
Hard
Saturday
Rock.
of every month, we're at the Roaming Gnome in Pigeon Forge, Sevierville. So
Okay.
those 2 dates are a lot for every.
Set resident dates at Hard Knock
Right.
Cafe and the Roaming Gnome.
Yes.
So if you're in that area, not too far of a drive for the Knoxville crowd either.
No.
And great to be able to play for the
Yeah, and you
tourist
don't have to go all the way
economy
into
up there.
Gatlinburg
There you
and
go,
all that
right.
stuff.
Absolutely.
And we have had some people plan their vacations around us playing.
Oh, yeah, they have done that,
So
yeah.
sweet.
That's got to be flattering.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Kincaid Band, thanks so much for stopping by. Looking for them online and follow ProMotion LLC on social media. Hit that like bar and subscribe down below. That way you don't miss another ProMotion live session right here in the stew. All right, I'm good.
Yeah.
Hello, we're the Kincaid Band, and we're at ProMotion Studios in Knoxville, Tennessee. Busted flat in Baton Rouge, waiting for a train. Now it's feeling near as faded as my jeans. Bobby thumbed the diesel down just before the rain. We rode it all the way to New Orleans. Well, I pulled my harpoon out of my dirty red bandana. And I was playing songs while Bobby sang the blues. Rich their mind. We sing every song and drive anew. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing, ain't nothing, honey, if it ain't free. Yeah. Feeling good was easy, Lord, when he sang the blues. You know, feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and my Bobby McGee. California sun, yeah, Bobby shared the secrets of my soul. Through all kinds of weather, through everything we've done, yeah, Bobby, baby, kept me from this cold world. One day out near Salinas, Lord, I let him slip away. He's looking for that home, and I'll be fine there. Well, I trade on my tomorrows for one single yesterday, to be holding by his body next to mine. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing, ain't nothing, honey, if it ain't free. Yeah. Oh, feeling good was easy, Lord, when he sang the blues. You know, feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and my Bobby McGee. La-di-da, 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 da-di-da. La-di-da-di-da-da, Bobby McGee, yeah. La-di-da-di-da-da, la-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da-da, Bobby McGee, yeah. La-di-da, la-di-da-di-da-di-da. Hey, my Bobby said I'm Bobby McGee, yeah. Lordy, 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 lordy. Hey, 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 Bobby McGee, yeah.
All right, everybody, here's a little Kincaid original called Gone for Good. I tried to tell you what you mean to me. You never hear what I say. You want me to tell you how I feel when I do. You turn and walk away.
can't you see how much it's hurting me? The way it's gotten out of hand. I'm tired of playing these games that we do. I just want us back again. Don't leave me here by myself. I don't wanna go on with anyone else. 'Cause I remember that summer lighting in the dark, and we finally felt it inside. We were fighting at each other, now we're rediscovered. But tell me if we got on this ride. It's not gone for good. Oh, it's too late. Don't leave me here by myself. Don't wanna go on with anyone else. 'Cause I remember that summer lighting in the dark, and we finally felt it this night. We were fighting at each other, now we're rediscovered. But tell me if we got what it's like. It's not gone for good. It's too late to fight. It's too late to fight. All right. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the band,
We hope that we pass the audition.